What if one of the most powerful foods for healthy aging has been hiding in plain sight all along? Not some expensive supplement. Not a miracle drug. Not a secret discovered in a laboratory. But something sitting quietly in grocery stores, fruit bowls, and kitchen counters across America. Grapes. Tiny. Sweet. Ordinary. Yet scientists continue uncovering surprising evidence suggesting that grapes might support heart health, brain function, healthy aging, circulation, immunity, and much more. In fact, some researchers became fascinated by a mystery known as the French paradox.
How could certain populations maintain relatively low rates of heart disease despite diets that weren't always considered perfect? The answer may have involved something hidden inside grapes. And what researchers discovered opened an entirely new conversation about longevity. But that's only the beginning. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand why these small fruits may be doing far more for your body than most people realize. And one particular benefit, something related to your brain and aging, might completely change how you look at grapes forever. Stay with us.
Because the most surprising discovery is still ahead. For thousands of years, grapes have traveled alongside human civilization. They've appeared in ancient medicine, traditional diets, religious ceremonies, and cultural celebrations across continents. Today, grapes are among the most consumed fruits on Earth. Yet most people think of them simply as a sweet snack, a lunchbox fruit, something to eat between meals. But beneath that sweet skin lies a remarkably complex package of nutrients and natural plant compounds. Compounds that scientists continue studying for their potential role in supporting long-term health. Now, let's be clear, grapes are not magic.
No single food can guarantee perfect health. But when included as part of a balanced lifestyle, grapes may offer benefits that are surprisingly wide-ranging. And some of those benefits begin in one of the most important systems of your body, your heart.
The story of grapes stretches back thousands of years. Archaeologists believe grapes were cultivated as early as 8,000 years ago. Ancient civilizations treasured them. The Egyptians documented grape cultivation. The Greeks praised their value. The Romans expanded vineyards across vast regions of Europe. But grapes weren't valued only for taste. Many cultures viewed them as symbols of vitality, abundance, and health. Ancient healers often recommended grapes as nourishing foods during recovery and periods of weakness. Of course, they didn't understand antioxidants. They didn't know about polyphenols. They couldn't measure inflammation markers. Yet somehow, many cultures recognized that grapes seemed to promote wellness. Fast forward to modern science. Researchers discovered that grapes contain hundreds of bioactive compounds. Among the most famous is resveratrol. This naturally occurring compound gained worldwide attention after scientists began investigating its possible connection to healthy aging and cardiovascular health. Suddenly, grapes were no longer just fruit. They became one of the most researched foods in nutritional science. And the deeper researchers looked, the more fascinating the story became. Because some of the most exciting discoveries involve the body's largest and hardest working organ system, the cardiovascular system. Imagine your cardiovascular system as a vast highway network. Every second of every day, blood must travel efficiently through thousands of miles of vessels. When traffic flows smoothly, organs receive oxygen and nutrients. When problems develop, the consequences can affect the entire body. Grapes contain compounds called polyphenols. These compounds are being studied for their ability to support healthy blood vessel function. Some research suggests they may help support healthy circulation and maintain vascular flexibility. Why does this matter? Because healthy blood flow affects nearly everything: energy, mental clarity, physical performance, even healthy aging itself. And here's something many people don't realize. The health of your heart today
influences how you may feel years from now. That's why even small daily habits can create meaningful differences over time. But what if grapes were helping another critical organ at the same time? One that determines your memory, focus, and ability to stay mentally sharp as you age. Let's talk about the brain. Few fears are more universal than losing mental sharpness. Many people worry about memory, focus, mental energy, and maintaining cognitive performance as they grow older. That's why researchers have become increasingly interested in foods that may support brain health, and grapes continue appearing in those conversations. The brain consumes enormous amounts of energy. It also produces significant oxidative stress. Over time, oxidative stress can contribute to normal aging processes throughout the body. Grapes contain antioxidant compounds that help neutralize free radicals. Think of antioxidants as part of your body's maintenance crew.
They help manage wear and tear created by daily living. Some studies suggest grape compounds may support healthy blood flow to the brain. Others are exploring potential connections between grape consumption and aspects of cognitive performance. Imagine being able to support your brain simply by choosing nutrient-rich foods consistently over many years. No miracle, no shortcuts, just smart habits repeated daily. And that's where grapes become especially interesting. Because the same compounds that may support brain health also appear connected to another topic that fascinates millions of Americans: aging. And what scientists are discovering may surprise you. What if aging isn't just about counting birthdays? What if it's also about how well your cells handle stress over time? This question has fueled decades of scientific research, and grapes have become one of the foods frequently mentioned in those discussions. The reason? Resveratrol. This natural compound gained attention because researchers observed intriguing effects in laboratory studies related to cellular health and longevity pathways. Now, it's important to keep expectations realistic. Eating grapes won't stop aging. Nothing can. Aging is a natural process. But supporting your body's defenses against everyday stress may help promote healthier aging. Think of it like maintaining a house. You can't stop the passage of time, but you can take care of the structure, repair damage, protect vulnerable areas, and preserve function for as long as possible. That's exactly how many scientists think about nutrition. Not a magic solution, but a powerful tool. And grapes may be one of the simplest tools available. But what if these tiny fruits could also influence something millions of Americans struggle with every day? Blood sugar. The answer is more surprising than most people expect. When most people think about grapes, one concern often comes to mind: sugar. After all, grapes are naturally sweet, so wouldn't that automatically make them bad for blood sugar? Surprisingly, the story is much more complicated and much more interesting. Researchers have discovered that grapes contain not only natural sugars, but also fiber, water, vitamins, minerals, and beneficial plant compounds. These components work together in ways that may affect how the body responds to food. In fact, some studies have explored how certain grape compounds may help support healthy insulin function and metabolic health when consumed as part of a balanced diet.
Now, this doesn't mean unlimited grapes are a good idea. Portion size always matters. But it does challenge the common myth that all sweet fruits should automatically be avoided. The truth is that nutrition is rarely that simple. Your body responds to entire foods differently than it responds to highly processed sugary snacks. That's one reason many nutrition experts encourage people to focus on whole foods rather than fear them. And speaking of metabolism, there's another question millions of Americans ask every single year. Can grapes help with weight management? The answer may surprise you. Imagine standing in front of your refrigerator late at night. You're craving something sweet. You have two choices: a processed dessert loaded with added sugars, or a bowl of cold, juicy grapes? Which option is more likely to support your long-term health goals? For many people, the answer is obvious. Grapes provide natural sweetness with fewer calories than many popular desserts and snack foods. They also contain water, which contributes to feelings of fullness. And here's something fascinating. Behavioral researchers often emphasize that sustainable health is not about perfection. It's about replacement, replacing less nutritious choices with better ones, again and again, over months, over years. Those small decisions add up.
A handful of grapes won't magically cause weight loss, but consistently choosing nutrient-rich foods can help create healthier habits. And healthy habits are often what separate temporary results from lifelong success. But grapes don't just support metabolism. They may also help nourish one of the most important systems most people rarely think about, your gut. Your digestive system does far more than process food. It's connected to immunity, energy, mood, even brain function. Scientists often refer to the gut as a second brain because of the powerful communication happening between the digestive tract and the nervous system. Grapes contribute fiber, which supports normal digestive function. Fiber helps maintain regularity and feeds beneficial bacteria living in the gut. And those beneficial bacteria are becoming stars of modern health research. Why? Because researchers increasingly believe that a healthy microbiome may influence many aspects of wellness. Everything from digestion to immune function, even healthy aging.
What's particularly exciting is the grape polyphenols may interact with gut bacteria in ways scientists are still trying to fully understand. It's a reminder that food isn't just fuel. Food is information. Every meal sends signals throughout your body, and grapes may be sending some surprisingly positive messages. But what about energy? Can something as simple as grapes help you feel more energized throughout the day? Let's find out. Have you ever experienced that afternoon crash? The moment when your energy suddenly disappears? Your focus drops, and reaching for another cup of coffee feels almost unavoidable.
Many people try to solve this problem with highly processed energy products. But sometimes, simpler solutions deserve more attention. Grapes provide natural carbohydrates, which the body can use as a source of energy. They also contain water, helping support hydration. And hydration is often overlooked when discussing fatigue. Even mild dehydration can influence how energized and alert you feel. This doesn't mean grapes are a substitute for sleep, exercise, or proper nutrition, but they can be part of an overall lifestyle that supports consistent energy levels. And when your body has what it needs, everything tends to function more smoothly, including your immune system.
Which brings us to another remarkable benefit. Your immune system works around the clock, day and night, even while you're sleeping. It's constantly identifying threats, repairing damage, and helping maintain balance throughout the body. And like every other system, it depends on proper nutrition. Grapes contain vitamin C and other beneficial plant compounds that contribute to overall wellness. Vitamin C is widely known for its role in supporting normal immune function. But what makes grapes particularly interesting is the combination of nutrients working together. Scientists increasingly recognize that health isn't usually driven by a single nutrient. It's the synergy. The teamwork. The way compounds interact inside whole foods. Nature rarely packages nutrients one at a time. And perhaps that's part of the reason whole foods continue outperforming many highly processed alternatives. But the benefits don't stop inside the body. Some may even show up in the mirror.
What if one of the most visible signs of health isn't found in a blood test, but in your skin? Your skin is constantly exposed to environmental stressors, sunlight, pollution, dry air,
daily wear and tear. Over time, these factors contribute to visible aging. This is where antioxidants become especially important. Grapes contain a variety of antioxidant compounds that help protect cells from oxidative stress. And while no food can erase wrinkles overnight, nutrition plays a powerful role in supporting healthy skin from within. Many dermatologists emphasize that healthy skin begins long before creams and treatments. It begins with hydration, sleep, stress management, and nutrient-rich foods. In other words, beauty often starts from the inside out, and grapes fit naturally into that picture. But here comes an even bigger surprise. One benefit of grapes is often overlooked entirely, yet it may influence how well you recover, rest, and prepare for the next day. And that benefit begins every night when you close your eyes. What if one of the most important anti-aging tools isn't a supplement, but sleep? Think about it. Every night, your body enters an extraordinary repair process. Cells recover, hormones rebalance, the brain clears waste products, muscles repair, the immune system reorganizes, and memories become more stable.
In many ways, sleep is your body's natural overnight maintenance program. Yet millions of Americans struggle to get enough quality rest. This is where grapes become surprisingly interesting. Researchers have found that grapes naturally contain small amounts of melatonin, the hormone associated with sleep-wake cycles. Now, grapes aren't a sleeping pill, and they shouldn't be viewed that way. But they are one more example of how nature often places helpful compounds inside everyday foods. More importantly, grapes fit perfectly into an overall healthy evening routine. A lighter snack, gentle hydration, and a healthier alternative to heavily processed desserts late at night.
Because here's something many people overlook. The choices you make before bed often influence how you feel tomorrow morning. And tomorrow's energy affects the quality of your entire life. But sleep isn't the only thing that becomes more important as we age. There's another area many people don't think about until it's already becoming a problem: their bones.
Imagine reaching your 70s and still feeling confident climbing stairs, going for walks, traveling, playing with grandchildren, living independently. Many people associate longevity with simply living longer, but true longevity is about maintaining quality of life, and strong bones play a major role in that equation. Researchers continue studying how fruits rich in antioxidants and plant compounds may contribute to overall bone health. Grapes contain nutrients that support the body's normal functions, including minerals involved in maintaining healthy bones. But perhaps even more important is what grapes represent: a dietary pattern, a lifestyle, a commitment to choosing foods that nourish rather than merely satisfy cravings. Healthy aging rarely comes from one dramatic decision. It usually comes from thousands of small choices repeated over decades. And those choices create the foundation for future independence. Yet, even if your body stays strong, what good is it if your vision begins to fade? Let's talk about your eyes. Imagine waking up and seeing the world clearly. The faces you love, the places you've traveled, the books you've always wanted to read. Vision is one of life's greatest gifts, yet many people take it for granted until changes begin appearing with age. Like many colorful fruits, grapes contain antioxidants that help combat oxidative stress throughout the body. Scientists continue exploring how diets rich in fruits and vegetables may contribute to long-term eye health. The key idea is simple: your eyes are living tissues, and living tissues require nourishment. Every healthy choice you make today becomes an investment in your future self, a future self who still wants to experience sunsets, family gatherings, road trips, and life's beautiful moments. But there is another invisible process happening beneath the surface, a process linked to many aspects of aging itself.
Inflammation. You've probably heard the word inflammation countless times. It's become one of the most discussed topics in health and wellness. But what exactly is it? Inflammation is part of your body's natural defense system. Without it, healing wouldn't happen, recovery wouldn't happen, protection wouldn't happen. The problem occurs when unhealthy lifestyle factors create unnecessary stress over long periods. Poor sleep, smoking, chronic stress, highly processed diets, lack of movement. These habits can gradually affect how the body functions. Researchers are interested in grapes because of their rich concentration of polyphenols and antioxidants.
These compounds are being studied for their role in supporting healthy cellular function. Again, grapes aren't a cure, but they fit into the larger picture of a wellness-focused lifestyle. And that larger picture may be one of the most powerful concepts in modern health science. Because health isn't built by one meal, one workout, or one supplement. It's built by patterns. And grapes may be one small piece of a very important pattern. A pattern connected to longevity itself.
Let's step back for a moment. Why are we talking so much about grapes? It's not because grapes are magical. It's because they represent something bigger. A way of eating that has appeared repeatedly in populations known for exceptional longevity. When researchers study long-lived communities around the world, they often find common themes. More whole foods, more fruits, more vegetables, more movement, more social connection, less ultra-processed food, less chronic stress. And grapes fit naturally into that lifestyle. The goal isn't to find a miracle food. The goal is to build a miracle lifestyle. One healthy choice layered on top of another, day after day, year after year.
Because the secret to longevity may not be found in a laboratory. It may be found in everyday habits hiding in plain sight. And that's exactly why grapes continue attracting scientific attention. But now we arrive at one of the most fascinating health mysteries ever investigated. A mystery that shocked researchers around the world. The French paradox. In the late 20th century, researchers noticed something puzzling. Certain populations in France appear to experience relatively lower rates of heart disease than expected, at least compared with some assumptions about dietary risk factors. This observation became known as the French paradox. Scientists wanted answers.
What was protecting these populations? Was it lifestyle, meal patterns, social habits, physical activity, food quality, or something else? Alayhi Salam researchers investigated further. Attention turned toward compounds found in grapes, particularly polyphenols and resveratrol. Suddenly, grapes became the focus of worldwide scientific curiosity. And while the mystery turned out to be far more complex than a single food, one thing became clear. The compounds found in grapes deserved serious attention. Even today, scientists continue studying these fascinating molecules. And what we're about to discuss next may be the most practical information in this entire documentary.
Because knowing the benefits is one thing. Knowing how to actually use grapes correctly is something else entirely. And most people are making several mistakes without even realizing it.
By now, you've learned that grapes are much more than a simple snack. But unfortunately, misinformation spreads faster than facts. Let's clear up some of the biggest myths. Myth number 1. Grapes contain sugar, therefore they're unhealthy. This is one of the most common misunderstandings in nutrition. Not all sugar is created equal. The sugar found naturally inside whole fruit comes packaged with water, fiber, vitamins, minerals, and beneficial plant compounds. That's very different from consuming large amounts of added sugars found in many processed foods. Myth number 2. You shouldn't eat grapes if you're trying to lose weight. Again, context matters. A reasonable portion of grapes can absolutely fit into a healthy eating plan.
In fact, their natural sweetness may help satisfy cravings that might otherwise lead to less nutritious choices. Myth number 3. Only expensive superfoods provide real health benefits. This myth costs people money every year. The reality is that many of the world's most nutritious foods are surprisingly simple. Beans, oats, leafy greens, berries, and yes, grapes. Sometimes the most powerful habits are also the most affordable. But myths aren't the only problem. Many people are making mistakes that prevent them from getting the most out of this fruit. Let's look at some of the biggest ones. Mistake number 1. Treating grapes as a replacement for an otherwise unhealthy diet. No food can compensate for poor lifestyle habits. Nutrition works best as a complete system. Mistake number 2. Ignoring portion awareness. Even healthy foods deserve balance. The goal is consistency, not excess. Mistake number 3. Choosing processed grape products over whole grapes whenever possible. Whole grapes retain their natural fiber and nutrient structure. Mistake number 4. Waiting until health problems appear before improving eating habits. One of the greatest misunderstandings about wellness is the belief that healthy habits only matter after symptoms show up. In reality, prevention often begins years earlier. The healthiest people are frequently the ones who invested in themselves long before they needed to. And now comes one of the most practical questions viewers often ask. When is the best time to eat grapes?
The good news? There is no single perfect time, but there are moments when grapes can fit particularly well into a healthy routine. Many people enjoy grapes with breakfast. They add natural sweetness and freshness to the start of the day. Others prefer grapes as a mid-afternoon snack when energy levels begin to dip. Some enjoy them after physical activity, as part of a balanced recovery meal. And frozen grapes have become increasingly popular as a refreshing alternative to sugary desserts. The most important factor isn't timing, it's consistency. Healthy habits create results because they're repeated, not because they're perfect. But timing is only one piece of the puzzle. Pairing grapes with the right foods may make them even more satisfying. One of the easiest ways to build a satisfying snack is combining grapes with foods that provide protein and healthy fats. For example, grapes with Greek yogurt, grapes with almonds, grapes with walnuts, grapes alongside a balanced lunch. These combinations can help create a more satisfying eating experience while supporting overall nutrition goals. And perhaps more importantly, they make healthy eating enjoyable. Because here's a truth many diets ignore. If a healthy lifestyle feels miserable, it rarely lasts.
The healthiest eating pattern is often the one you can actually maintain. And now, let's hear a few stories that illustrate what consistent healthy habits can look like in real life. Meet David. At age 58, he realized his daily routine had become dominated by convenience foods. Energy drinks, sugary snacks, fast food. Nothing dramatic happened overnight, but over time he began making small changes. He started walking regularly, cooking more meals at home, eating more fruits, including grapes. Months later, he didn't describe feeling transformed. He described feeling better, more consistent energy, better habits, more control over his choices. And that's an important lesson. Real health improvements are often subtle before they become significant. Then there's Susan, a retired teacher who wanted to age actively. Instead of chasing miracle solutions, she focused on fundamentals: movement, sleep, stress management, whole foods. Her goal wasn't to become younger. Her goal was to remain capable, independent, and engaged with life. Today, she still hikes, travels, and spends time with her grandchildren. Not because of one food, but because of thousands of healthy decisions accumulated over many years. And perhaps that's the most powerful lesson of all. If you'd like to include more grapes in your lifestyle, here are a few simple ideas.
Keep washed grapes visible in your refrigerator. Make healthy choices easier to access. Add grapes to breakfast bowls. Pack them as an afternoon snack. Freeze them for a refreshing treat. Pair them with protein-rich foods. Use them to replace less nutritious desserts occasionally. Most importantly, focus on consistency rather than perfection. Small actions repeated daily often outperform dramatic changes that last only a few weeks. Because health is rarely built in a day. It's built one choice at a time.
And that brings us to the final message of this journey. At the beginning of this documentary, we asked a simple question. What if one of the most powerful foods for healthy aging had been sitting in plain sight all along? Now you know the answer is more nuanced than a simple yes or no. Grapes are not magic. They won't guarantee perfect health. They won't stop aging. And they won't replace the fundamentals of a healthy lifestyle. But they remind us of something important. Nature has been providing nourishing foods long before modern wellness trends existed. Sometimes the answers we're searching for aren't hidden in expensive products. They're hiding in everyday choices.
The walk you take after dinner. The extra serving of fruit. The decision to prioritize sleep. The commitment to care for your future self. Because longevity isn't really about adding years to life, it's about adding life to years. Being present for the people you love. Having the energy to pursue your passions. Waking up excited for another day. And if something as simple as a handful of grapes can help support that journey, then perhaps they're far more remarkable than they first appear. Thank you for spending this time with us.
If you enjoyed this documentary, let us know in the comments. How often do you eat grapes, and what's your favorite way to enjoy them? Don't forget to subscribe for more evidence-based health and longevity content designed to help you live stronger, healthier, and longer. And remember, your future health is being built by the choices you make today. We'll see you in the next video.